Hey Facebook, what's up? How are ya? It's Jen McCowan coming at you again. Sorry, not calling. I guess I'm live. Sorry. My name is Jennifer McCowan. I'm a market partner with Monet Global, and I am here today to talk to you a little bit about hair loss, why it happens, and different types of alopecia is really what I want to focus on today, so that you guys can see and know what I'm talking about. So, let's get started. Okay, so hey Jeff, hi Deanna, hi Dawn, how are ya? Okay, so alopecia is a major part of hair loss. Okay, it's also considered, it also is on top of female and male pattern baldness. Those are both considered different types of alopecia. There's also inflammatory disorders in our body. Stress is a big one. Hormones, whether you have a baby, whether you get pregnant, whether you're going through menopause, whether you're going through the change or not, right? All kinds of hormones. Medications can have a really, really wonky effect. It can make your hair fall out. It can make it get dry. It can make it do all kinds of things. It all depends. They're usually thyroid related, diabetic related, things like that. And again, inflammatory disorders like lupus and things like that. So you really kind of got to be a little bit wary for things like that. But in regards to the alopecia, I don't want to keep you guys here all day, so I really just want to highlight the fun ones. And I brought pictures. Okay. First and foremost, I want you as other fellow market partners to know, and if you're just new to the business, this is my life. I've been passionate about hair since I was 5 when I cut off my own ponytail, and then my dad got killed in a car accident 5 weeks after I had my second baby, and I lost 85% of my hair, and I was going to be bald by the time I was 60. So I found this incredible shampoo company, and now I'm obsessed with finding out reasons and explaining to everyone why people lose their hair and how they can get it back. Because as you can plainly see, I would have never done this video a year ago, not even so much as 6 months ago, because the way the light is shining, you would have been blinded by the reflection of my scalp. Okay, so female pattern baldness. This is what was happening to me. It has what's called a Christmas tree effect. Okay, so it starts in the middle of your head, and it'll be in a pattern like this, and it'll slowly start to open up, okay? And you also get thinning right in the frontal temporal regions there where it starts to move back. Classic female pattern baldness, okay? And as you can see, you know, when it starts, it's just not so bad. Not so bad. Whoopsies. Here's the not so bad. Everything's upside down and backwards. And then, like, this is basically where I was, right about here. Okay, cruising on home downward to here. This is where I was aiming. And, yeah, that was all stress related and a lot of hormones too, because like I said, I had, not only did I just had a 5-week-old baby at home, but I also had severe hyperemesis when I was pregnant. And that's just, I was like super, super sick. So my body was almost malnourished to that point. So I also want you to take, being that we've seen the female chart, I want you guys to take a good look at the male pattern chart. Can we get this? There we go. That's better. Okay, so one on top, one on the side. That's a perfectly healthy head of hair. And now once our guys get to here, you know, realistically, you know, we just have to say sorry. That's just the way that it's going to go for them. But until, you know, they get into this phase, I mean, we can still kind of re-stimulate that growth. It takes 7 years to kill a follicle. We can stimulate that if it's just dormant, if it's clogged because of all that ugly DHT, we can clean it out, we can stimulate all of that stuff, and we can get it to grow again. So one more little shot here. So as you can see in the front, everything's full. And then notice how the temples move back, way back. And now you see how the forehead's moving back. In stage 3, we start crowning. You start to get that little quarter size on the top of their head. And then look at the temples again. And then you see how this is getting bigger. And then all of a sudden they just meet in the middle, and then it's, you see you later. Yeah. And that's just the way that it goes for some guys. It's kind of crappy, but it's just the way that it is. But we can definitely prevent it and prolong it. My next one, alopecia areata. Okay, this is alopecia areata. Little tiny spots all over your head of missing hair. Does not mean that that hair will never grow back. The types of alopecia that I'm talking about right now are non-scarring alopecias, and typically typically when you get non-scarring alopecias, you know, there's no reason why we can't really stimulate that growth and get it to come back unless, oh, thanks, Shelly. Unless, you know, there's some serious major stuff going on. You know, we're just a shampoo company, you know, we're not medical doctors, but we can really, really help. So when somebody says, I have alopecia areata, that's what it looks like. Think about it like areas of little bald spots. Okay, next one. Ooh. Now, don't get this confused with our beautiful and blessed cancer patients, please. This is what's called alopecia universalis, or this one's totalis, pardon me. Now, the difference between, there's two very similar ones, alopecia universalis versus alopecia totalis. Okay, so the totalis, which is this handsome gentleman here, I don't know if you can kind of see, but there's little evidence that there may have been some hairs there, okay? With totalis, they lose all their hair on their scalp. They can still have hair basically anywhere underneath their chin, but it's just focused on the scalp. It's usually due to stress, and it can be definitely a genetic related issue as well. But universalis, alopecia universalis, when we're nice and when we're really quite shiny, and you'll also notice that, sorry, my beautiful manicure's in there. You'll also notice that this gentleman doesn't have any eyebrows and eyelashes. Okay, he doesn't have any hair on his body, and this is what we call alopecia universalis. It is universal all over your body, and that hair, it's gone from everywhere. Can you get it back? It all is literally individually based. Each case is different. Each makeup of chemistry of human body is different. It all depends on what you're dealing with. Okay. Now this is kind of where I was at. This one's fancy. This one's called telogen effluvium. There's also two different kinds. There's acute telogen effluvium and there's chronic telogen effluvium. So acute comes on when, you know, all of a sudden you got this, like something major happened in your life. Like, so for me, when my dad died, whammo, acute telogen effluvium. And now what that means, telogen is the resting phase of the hair, and stuff is dying and there's no new stuff coming, and all you're left with is all these older hairs that are hanging on by a thread. So not only are you dealing with fine and thinning, but it's weak, it's vulnerable, it is, you know, you don't even want to like get in the wind too much because God forbid it blows out of your head. Okay, it's pretty scary stuff. Oh yes, and then there's also, hang on. Oh, you know what? Okay, I got my two pictures mixed up. They're both kind of sort of, it all depends on this thing. On a machine you got to use, and you can test it to find out the exact same thing. But this is also a different picture of telogen effluvium. I can get that. Okay, there we go. Okay, what happened? Oh, no. No, this is my traction alopecia one. We're moving along. Sorry, my notes are a little bit mixed up. Patience with me, thank you. Sorry, this is part of traction alopecia. There's two pictures for this one I want to show you because I mentioned that I had it too. Here is another one, traction alopecia. Now, how does traction alopecia happen? Now, see, when I lost all my hair, I thought it was genius. I thought I'd go and get some hair extensions. So, what also happens with many people, this is very common too in different ethnicities, but basically hair extensions across the board. If your hair is not strong enough to hold on to it, those little pores are going to get so upset with you, that little follicle is going to get so upset with you, it's just going to let it go. And that whole hair is going to come out, and you're going to end up with those little bald spots like that, okay? Or if you're a dancer, okay, and you're pulling your hair back tight, or a gymnast, tight, you're gonna notice all of, oh, other way, my bad, these ones, right, where you're, oopsie doodle, oh, good, sorry, everybody, there we go, okay, where it's super thin, where you go to pull it back, you got all those baby hairs, tons and tons of baby hairs. It's because you're yanking on your scalp. That's too much stress on that follicle. Nothing can breathe. And so it just gives out, and you have breakage, thin hair, and or just flat out bald spots. So there's also a fun one called like trichotillomania type of alopecia. And that's like people who twist and pull their hair out, but that causes damage. It's not like alopecia. It's like alopecia, but to me it's like a nervous habit when people do this, right? There's also scarring alopecias. Now that I wrecked on my hairspray, I just think, see? People have been, you know, commenting on all my newbies, but they're floating up there. Anyways, okay. Okay, this one's really weird. Okay, lichen planopolaris, okay? Scarring alopecia. Now, a lot of times when we have scarring alopecia, depends again, case, you know, it depends on from case to case, but scarring is scarring. It can be very tricky to get that hair to grow back. So this one where you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it very good, but the skin is very, very rough. You can tell there's scarring. In other types of scarring, you know, when it's really, really smooth, there's different types the way you do scar, but all of those follicles are kind of just jammed right up with scar tissue. Oops, what did I do there? The next one is frontal fibrosing alopecia. This is very, very common in postmenopausal women, and this is, you know, something that you'd want to recommend, especially you'd want to recommend, you know, our Let It Grow system for, depending too on how long their hair is. But this is frontal fibrosing alopecia. Oh, there we go. You see how far back her hairline has gone? I'll bet you when she was a teenager, it was right about there, or maybe even where this red line is, but who knows if it looks like she might have had a hat on. But most people, you know, it's like 2 and 2, and that's where your hairline should start, like 2 fingers and 2 fingers. Stephen Mattis from the California National Hair Loss Association, he taught me that one. He's a super smart guy. You guys should follow him too. He's on Instagram. Stephen Mattis, M-A-D-E-U-S, super smart cat. Anyways, third one. Oh, that was the traction alopecia. Traction alopecia too can be a bit scarring. I got really, really lucky and all of my spots grew back. I mean, I don't have eyes in the back of my head, but when my doctor went through my hair for my last yearly physical, you know someone who has fibrotelage and effluvium. Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Is she a dancer? And have they gone to her doctor and talked about this? Hey, Kim. Oh, poor little angel. You know, yeah, those 5-year-olds, I mean, we're really quite safe. I mean, what are they going to do? Recommend Rogaine to a 5-year-old? We're a lot safer than that. We all know that. Sorry, maybe shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean to say a bad word. But my heart bleeds for that little one. I hope she's okay. But I hope she's getting taken care of with her doctor. And obviously, if you're watching, hopefully you can help her out with some of our stuff as well. So yeah. That's kind of the basics on hair loss, especially focusing on alopecia. Did anybody have any questions for me? And go. There's Kim. I'm going to just run through here really quick and see. Oh, thanks, Angela. Oh, I'm so glad everybody likes my videos so far. Oh, okay, somebody tagged somebody. Okay, good. All right. I don't see a ton of questions. So if you're watching live too, give me a 1 in the comments. Say hi. If you're watching the replay, put replay in there. And if you know, kind of just went, what is she talking about? You know, once that settles, just write it in the comments. Write all your questions in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I'm happy if I talked a little bit too like, you know, I'll totally jam it down a little bit and try to make it a little bit more easy to understand if I wasn't too easy. So, yay! Okay, cool. I hope you guys are doing good. And I'm going to come back literally in like 30 seconds and tell you all about my book, but I'm going to make them 2 separate little videos. So there isn't any Capixyl in the coloring products, right? That is correct, Loretta. No, there is no Capixyl in there. So what I like to tell to people if they want to get the benefits of it as well, first wash with your regular, your Revive, your Renew, and then second shampoo is absolutely with your color enhancing because that way you can, you know, I don't want to say deposit because that's going to be another one of my videos because we don't really deposit much. We enhance the natural tone. And so I'm trying to figure out in layman's terms, because even my brain goes a little scrambly on how to explain this to you guys. And I was going to do a tissue paper demo, but I got to do some experimenting first before I do that. So in the next couple days, there's going to be a landslide of videos coming your guys' way. So watch out for them. And so happy I can help, Melody. That's awesome. My pleasure. I hope you guys have a really awesome weekend. Take care. Bye for now.